Alright, so we have our 2021 Kawasaki KLX300 dual sport on the lift here, and we're going to go over the fuel tank removal. The first thing I would recommend to make this easier is to siphon out the fuel or just run it low on fuel before you attempt this, because this is a pretty tight fit, and with a fuel tank full of gas, even a small one like this, it makes it more difficult to handle and to remove. So the next thing after you get that taken care of, you're going to take off your seat, going to take off your radiator shrouds. You got 3 bolts, one on each side and then one in the back to take out. And then you will come down and disconnect your 4-pin fuel pump connector, and that will allow you enough room to turn this tank kind of over on its side and access these hoses. So you got 3 hoses down here. You got your drain hose that goes down to the ground, and then you got these 2 black evap emissions hoses that go over to the little container there. So after you get those disconnected, you'll have a little bit more room to get this thing around, and then we're going to disconnect that fuel line. Okay, so we've got our hoses disconnected and this repositioned to give us a little better access to this clip. So the idea with this clip is to get these little plastic tabs out of the way, and then it'll just clip back. Same thing, to get it all the way on, to go back together, just make sure you hear that nice click and it locks into place. So once you slide that back, now you're ready if your bike is like mine for the fight. If you notice too, I've also got a rag placed under here just to catch any fuel that may leak out when you disconnect this line. So from there it just pulls straight off. Problem is, it doesn't want to come off, so you really got to kind of work it back and forth and pull. The main thing is to try to pull straight down and don't flex it back and forth and stress out this plastic fitting that this thing mounts onto, because if you break that, you're probably going to have to replace the fuel pump, and I imagine that's pretty expensive. Alright, so with that fuel line being disconnected now, that's the last part. The fuel tank comes off. Just remember going forward to make sure you get this fuel line fully seated, and then that will allow this the green clip to securely snap into place and hold it on. Once you get everything all put back on, go ahead and turn your key on, let your fuel pump cycle, make sure you don't have any leaks. And that's pretty much it for fuel tank removal. Now for the rest of this machine, we are working on our repair manual. We'll have that completed shortly. You will have step-by-step instructions how to do pretty much anything on this bike, and pictures to go along with that, and then tech support too if you have any questions. So I had a little bit of a hard time getting this fuel line off and started to second guess myself. So if you run into that situation, that's what's going on, and hope that helps you out.